What's going on, everyone? My name is Kyle and welcome to Analog Bebop. And first of all, I just want to thank Jason Kummerfeld, aka Grainy Days. He shouted me out on his channel.
Among the fresh-faced newcomers to this platform, I somehow stumbled upon a channel called Analog Bebop, hosted by some guy named Kyle.
And now I have a lot more subscribers than I used to. I was very surprised at this. I did not think that of all people on YouTube who post videos with film photography, considering mine being so small, that someone that I've been heavily inspired by and watched his videos for quite some time would take note of my very few videos that I've posted and decide that he wanted to shout me out. So I'm very grateful that he did that for me. He's truly the coaxium to my Millennium Falcon, giving me a boost in viewership and subscribers. So I just want to thank Jason and yeah. Cheers to you, sir. And in this video, I'm going to be going over a recent date that I went on with my girlfriend. We went to the county fair, which is literally right across the street from my house. So we walked over there and I decided to load up my handy dandy Canon ae-1 with some Portra 800 and just capture the fair as we went along with our night. Just some background on this camera. It is actually my first film camera ever. I wasn't really aware of how big film photography was becoming and how big the presence on YouTube that it had, but I found this on Amazon for like $150 with the 50mm 1.8 attached to it and decided just to buy it. And I shot my first roll and sent it to Walgreens because I didn't know that there were any special film labs out there, and got my first roll back like 2 weeks later, and I was instantly hooked. I knew that this is a great hobby, that I wanted to continue to pursue film photography. So basically that summer that I bought this camera, I shot countless rolls through it. I was always going to downtown Sacramento and shooting film for fun by myself. And I even fell in love with this camera so much that I got its name tattooed on my arm. As you can see right here, this is my Canon ae-1 on my arm permanently. I'm very proud of it. It's my only tattoo, but who knows, maybe I'll get one of the Mamiya 7 on the other arm. So yeah, we went across the street to the fair and I loaded up my Canon ae-1 with some Portra 800 and just started snapping some images as we went along with our night. As you can see from these photos, a lot of them are pretty underexposed. I wasn't really trying very hard. I shot in all program mode because the Canon ae-1 program is basically like a point and shoot if you want it to be. For this night in particular, I wanted to see what I could produce with just shooting all program. It kind of makes for an enjoyable experience because I'm taking more of a relaxed approach, but nonetheless, I really like how some of these turned out. It's definitely not my best roll that I shot through, but it kind of brought me back to that feeling of shooting film photography when I first started, where I didn't really know how to shoot all manual, and I was exclusively shooting on program mode. So it's kind of bringing me back to that point where I was reminiscing on the origins of my film photography career, if that makes any sense. I was really excited to use my Canon ae-1 because I have been shooting a lot of medium format exclusively for a while now. It's really hard once you start using a Mamiya 7 to kind of backtrack and go back to the 35mm format. But I really wanted to kind of reminisce on the feelings that I had when I first started shooting film, and I wanted to kind of go back to square one and begin to use the camera that got me into film photography. There's just something about the low quality, grainy 35mm scans that just makes you feel nostalgic, and I think going back to using 35mm is something that I needed because I just recently quit my job and started freelancing full-time, and I've been putting all my attention to being self-employed, so I haven't really had time to shoot film at all and haven't really had an interest to. So it was really exciting to bring out my old camera and begin to shoot film again, because I feel like that's something that I really needed. I use film photography as an outlet that I can shoot for fun when I'm not shooting for a living. So now that I live on my own and I happen to live right next to the Fairgrounds, I was like, I can't not go to the fair, especially because I could see the Ferris wheel from my window and it just looks really cool. And I just love the experience, despite how janky it could be, despite how the rides may not look the safest. I just love the vibes that the fair brings, and I can't wait to go again next year. But I just really wanted to put something out there because there's a lot more of you now. I think this is just the beginning of my channel. There's definitely a lot more room for me to grow, and I'm really excited to see where this thing takes me because I love creating videos and I love film photography. So putting those two together just is a perfect combination, and I'm really happy that now I have the platform to make this happen. So look out for some new videos in the future. In the meantime, follow me on Instagram at Kaimasm, and I will talk to you guys later. I just spilled Monster in my lap. That's fun.